A very good evening, all of you, in today's daily Hindu news analysis. Now, let's understand the focus of today's video. Now, in today's video, we'll discuss two topics. The first topic is related to a very good article on maritime security, that is boosting India with maritime domain awareness, which is GS paper 3 internal security and also 2 international relations. And then we have another article on the Central Vista project, where Supreme Court has given a judgment and has given a go-ahead to the government that they can continue the project. So daily analysis, The Hindu, 7th January. So let's start. Now, boosting India with maritime domain awareness. So I just need 10 minutes of yours quickly. So what does it say? The article talks about maritime security, and we all know that India has a huge boundary, maritime boundary, and hence it is important that we take our effort and collaborate with many countries so that India can secure its maritime boundary. Now, problem here is that China is trying to foray in South Asia, is trying to have a say in East East and Indian Ocean. Similarly, it has almost reached Pakistan at the Gwadar border. So these are the multiple challenges that we are facing. So it starts with the theory by Sun Tzu, who says that the important factor in a military battle is foreknowledge. What is foreknowledge? Means something that you can anticipate which might happen in future. So foreknowledge is very important for security, and that is very critical in the battle. And that foreknowledge kaise aayegi? Foreknowledge will come through reading the adversary, understanding it, theater of battle, reading it, understanding the tactics taken by your adversary, and that is how the fortune of war can be shifted. So India ka maritime boundary, agar aap dekhoge, so India has a huge maritime boundary, and along this maritime boundary, we have to secure the border. Now here we have Pakistan already, China, the CPEC is there. Similarly, we have Andaman Nicobar here, we have Lakshadweep here. The good thing is that Indian Ocean have a lot of other countries also who have presence. So let's understand this article in that background. Now, nature of enemy at sea. Now, the sea enemy can come in the form of terrorist, the pirate, criminal, or a sea robber. And hence we have to make sure that it is secure. They can come in a garb of fishermen or port workers. वो छुप के आ सकते हैं. They can come stealthily. For example, what happened in 26/11 in 2008 is something, a testimony of that. So what Navy is seeking? Navy is seeking to expand India's surveillance footprint. हमारा जो surveillance का जो scope है उसको बढ़ाएं. And we are setting up radars in Maldives, in Myanmar and Bangladesh, Mauritius, Seychelles, and Sri Lanka. So we are setting radars and we are integrating with these countries so that we can secure Indian Ocean. Now, Indian Navy effort has been primarily focused on monitoring Chinese activity. So China, as I mentioned, is trying to have a say in this area in the Eastern Indian Ocean, particularly around the seas of Andaman Nicobar Island. Now, recently, India ne kya kiya hai? India has put P-81 aircraft. Now, these are surveillance aircraft, and what they look at the PLA's submarines. Now, PLA, that is People's Liberation Army Navy submarines. So we are looking at PLA's submarines, and Indian naval ships have also patrolled, so that we can look at the adventurism by Beijing. Now, Beijing cannot be trusted, and especially China has a very clear-cut strategy of contain India in South Asia. So contain India in South Asia. And they will use every which way. They are using Pakistan also in the same way. Now, what India has done, India has a very good initiative called Sagar. And India is collaborating with other countries in Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean countries, the 7 countries, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, they will soon post liaison officers in Indian Navy Information Fusion Center, okay, Indian Ocean region in Gurugram. So liaison officer will come there. Similarly, France has already put a liaison officer at the same place in Gurugram. And 4 other Indo-Pacific navies, Australia, Japan, UK, and US, have also agreed that they will put their officers. So that means it will have collaborative effort of so many countries. New Delhi is also upping its engagement with Western Indian Ocean by positioning liaison officer in Regional Maritime Information Fusion Center in Madagascar. So, जैसे हम लोग हमारे यहाँ liaison officer हैं, we are also putting the liaison officer in the Regional Maritime Information Fusion Center, and India has already joined our MFIC as a India has already joined Indian Ocean Commission as an observer, and RMIFC, that is Regional Maritime Information Future Center. This is the key center for maritime information in West Indian Ocean. तो जो भी West Indian Ocean में आपको information चाहिए, this is the center. So India already might put an officer here. India has posted officer in the European Maritime Awareness in the Strait of Hormuz in Abu Dhabi and assisting to monitoring of the maritime activity in Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. So not only the Western Indian Ocean, but also in the Strait of Hormuz, India is trying to have a say. Now, among all this background, what is a good thing? The good thing is that the countries across the world who feel that China might be a future, might threaten in future, and that is why it is important to collaborate. Now, one good thing is that India has found a very good ally in French, especially in these cooperation. France, a key Indian ocean power, a critical partner for India in the region, has been instrumental in securing observer status for Indian Ocean Commission. So Indian Ocean Commission में India जो observer बना है, that is because of the help of the France, and that might help us to for greater participation in the security initiative in West Indian Ocean. West Indian Ocean is also close to India. Close to the security aspect of India, and that is why it is important to have a say here. Now, what is the China's what? China क्या कर रहा है? China has been able to do a lot of new R&D, and they have been able to create new unmanned underwater vehicle. So new unmanned underwater vehicle unka jo hai, that was found in the southern Indonesian island, and that new unmanned underwater vehicle, maybe that shows that China is already mapping the undersea terrain of Indian Ocean region, and they already have created, or they have come with the new R&D of new stealth, nuclear stealth submarines they have been able to create as per the new information, and hence it is important that India should also expand the underwater detection capabilities. So China invest kar raha hai, they can only invest in the areas of submarines, because they would not use ships, because that would be easily detectable. So India, on the contrary, is going ahead with P-81 aircraft. 9 operational are there, and already we are trying to have more of them. The surveillance footprint is supposed to be grow in the coming years. Speculation is also that India might collaborate with Japan so that we can install array of undersea sensors. Okay, so our undersea sensors we can put, and that will help us to detect the Chinese submarines. So these are some information or effort which India might be having. Now the real test will come from the shipping agreements. So recently, shipping agreements with 21 countries have enabled Indian Ocean to have comprehensive picture of maritime traffic. So maritime traffic में ही ये सारे concerns आएंगे. So engagement is very important. And here efforts are underway to help smaller island states build capacity to combat regional threats. So smaller countries, the island nations, they cannot fight, and hence a country like India is very important. And recently, India has set up GSAT-7A, and that will help in real-time sharing of maritime information with the partners. So GSAT-7A is another area where this satellite can help us to have a look at what is happening in the entire Indian Ocean. Now, similarly, there is the naval officers say that ye sara jo bhi ho raha hai, that is under the Sagar policy of India, that is security and growth for all in the region. Now, India has a benign approach. India does not want to threaten some country, but India wants to secure its maritime boundary. So while information cooperation sharing allows for joint evaluation of threat, countries do not always share vital information timelessly. So that is also a problem. Information share nahi hota hai. To bring real change, India must endure seamless information flow, generating operational synergy with partners, and aim to expand collaborative neighbors in the shared spaces. So we might see a lot of effort in these areas. And a good thing here is that now countries are converging. But another good thing can be that we need to share real-time information with the concerned countries so that right intervention can be made in the real time. So that is the approach of Sagar. Now coming to the article number 2, GS paper 2, Supreme Court judgment, and that is on Central Vista. So Central Vista is a grand project where government is putting new parliament building, new offices, new prime minister house, and all those things. And that is in the old Luton's Delhi. So Supreme Court, people went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court get 2-1 judgment. Yani Supreme Court gave go ahead. Government को कहा कि आप go ahead with the Central Vista project, and now that might change things. So that means the project will start. Now Justice Kanvilkar and Maheshwari, they found that is okay, because approval were given by Central Vista Committee, granted by to Central Vista Committee by Delhi Urban Arts Commission, Heritage Conservation Commission, and other bodies. So, they say that it is okay, the approval of given. But the third judge, Sanjeev Verma, he voiced his opinion and he said decision is okay, but the public participation should also be there. ऐसे project में public participation या उनका view भी important है, and that should be there. So he was the person who dissented. Now coming to the objection and the cost. Now, what is the way forward? Should government be allowed to have a say in whatever they want to do, or should there be a question mark here? So government should be naturally free. Government should be free to plan policies and program, but it should be subject to judicial review. Judicial review subject to judicial review hona chahiye, so that accountability is ensured. Government should not have a free run in a democracy. Judge again this principle. Center is simply exercising its privilege to plan a new set of buildings to establish establishment of federal legislature. So the article says that now judicial review part is already there, but government is going ahead with the project, and the project is huge. Remember, because this project talks about expenditure of around 13,450 crore. और इसमें क्या क्या बनेगा? There'll be a central secretariat, vice president enclave, prime minister's residence, along with 971 for new parliament. So it is a huge, massive project, and it says that for such project, a national consensus should be created, and maybe for 2022, 75th year, government is planning all this. So a government का role important है, but people participation and view is also equally important. Now, it would be appropriate if central government attempt to take consensus building on Central Vista without showing undue anxiety and haste in taking planned structures altogether. एक और concern जो है approval के साथ साथ, that this is a pandemic period and which there is uncertainty. So the focus should be on restoration of economic health, the damages which has been caused to various sectors of the economy, especially in the services. So such project might have been postponed, and because government का एक challenge target है कि 75th year तक हमें इस project को complete करना है. So government will be tested on its ability to ensure good health for citizens and revive normative education and provide stronger welfare. So government will be judged on those accounts rather than a Central Vista project in real sense. So this article says that accountability is the key, and it should be there, and accord and consensus should also be there in bringing such projects. That completes article number 2. The mains marathon, there are 2 questions, you can try to attempt them.